I made the appropriate radio calls and continued my flight to the correct airfield. It was no more than a 20-minute flight, and I made a nice landing. It was the right one because it looked just the way my instructor described. I parked the airplane and shut the engine down. I got out of the airplane and again felt that hot wind against my face. While reaching in the back for my water bottle, I took in the view. I was the only one around. I saw a twin-engine airplane, a hangar, 2 trees, a set of toilets, and a wildebeest. I imagine he was the airfield superintendent. I was close to the mountain now, but could only see the base of it extending below the clouds. I wish I could have seen more. This reminded me that a month previous I was given the opportunity by some friends to climb the mountain, but didn't go. I refused to climb anything that had the words "kill a man" in it. Should have gone. It would have been fun. I learned a life lesson. Never turn down any opportunity. You may never get the same chance again. Oh well, we live and learn. Now that I was back on track and most of my worries over, I realized that I was hungry. I was so busy trying to find myself that I forgot my stomach. I reached in the back seat, pulled out my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and took a bite. While eating, I scanned the area. I noticed how dry and desolate it was. It was hard to believe people came from all over the world to see elephants, which were indigenous to this area. In the distance, through the shimmering mirage, I could see more of those white tourist vans racing across the barren, dry soil, leaving trails of dust miles long. I finished my lunch and completed my walk-around. This was a quick check to see that everything was still attached. It was around 2:30, and if I was going to make it back to Wilson Airport before dark, I would have to leave now. I jumped back in the airplane, buckled in, and started the engine. I was soon in the air and flying on a heading of 300 degrees. Yes, I double-checked to make sure I didn't confuse the numbers and end up flying the wrong way. I didn't think I would have any more problems. How hard could it be to find a lake that was 20 miles long and 5 miles across? I climbed to flight level 8500 and was perfectly on course. I could tell because I was above Lake Amboseli, which was one of my checkpoints. I glanced down. There were 2 parallel tire tracks running north across the barren lake bed. I remember as a kid seeing a National Geographic special explaining how the lake only fills up during the rainy season. It would have only about 6 inches of water and dry up in a week or so. There were no vans crossing this desolate area. I think the tracks led to Nairobi. Through the haze I could make out the outline of what I hoped was Lake Magadi. I saw another lake off to the left, which I hope was Lake Natron. It better be, or I'm headed to the wrong one. I estimated my ground speed to be 105 knots. I was being pushed by a tailwind, therefore making up for lost time. As I got closer, I could tell that I was on the right track, thank God. I called Nairobi Center and let them know that I was over Lake Magadi. I flew over the lake at 500 feet to look for the airstrip. There was nothing. "Not again," I said out loud. While doing this, I realized there was something I forgot to do while being lost, and that was to take pictures. I made a point to bring my camera along to get some good photos. Just forgot all about it. Still flying over the lake at 500 feet, I reached behind and pulled out my camera, took off the lens and tried to focus on the lake. All this while making calls on the uncontrolled airfield frequency. Just like the beginning of the flight, I was trying to do too many things at once. Fly the airplane low to the ground with one hand, take pictures with the other, and make radio calls. It was a very unorthodox way to fly. I put the camera away, lowered the flaps, pulled the carb heat on, slowed the airplane to landing speed, and set it down. I headed the plane towards a parking area that was difficult to see due to the long grass. While swinging the plane around on the flat area, I cut the engine.